Dear Pixie, you asked us, should animal slaughter be banned once and for all? As planets near completion, then consuming of other living life force that holds a will to continue its life begins to cease. In third-dimensional free will planets, such as yours, this begins with the aware individuals and continues through groups of awakening and awakened individuals. Often this begins with the honouring of the fellow being, the animal, ensuring it lives a meaningful and enjoyable life. Others simply feel that the consuming of living beings that hold a will to continue their life is out of alignment for them. For the governments of your world to create a ban upon the slaughter of all animal life for human consumption is unlikely in your time period and is not in your near future trajectory. However, with the end of the service to self cabal control structure, who utilise the food chain as part of their control through creating fear within the animal, which is transferred then to you when you consume it. With the end of this cabal control and the replacements with new governments of light, if you will, that which stands in your trajectory is compassion within the farming and ending of life of the souls that have incarnated to stand beside you as animals. As you ascend through to the higher dimensional structure upon your planet, so too do the animals ascend. There shall be less and less individuals consuming other living beings who hold a will to live, and those that do consume will consume less and will consume only those animals who have lived a compassionate life and ending to their life. This is in your trajectory. Within fifth dimensional living, animals are seen as your friends and indeed your family, and are not consumed, as the new DNA structure allows for life force to be drawn into the body through light field structure and not the consuming of other beings. However, your quest was, should animal slaughter be banned once and for all? Whilst there are no shoulds in a free society, as this is rule, and rules are made within the boundary structure of the individual who stands in integrity, we can say that those who stand in integrity would not wish to end the life of another being who still holds the will to continue its life. Therefore, the answer to your question, when looking at what stands in alignment to integrity at the collective human level, the answer would be yes. Within this, there would be new ways to feed oneself and acquire the nutrients needed for your overall health and continuation of life without the ending of the life of another being who still holds the will to continue its life. Those beings that incarnate with a blueprinted path to have their life taken whilst they still hold will to continue life are beings that collectively teach compassion to the third dimensional human community. Within compassion, you will find the way to move forward as a community and access the trajectory we speak of, leading to fifth dimensional structure. Within compassion, you have the answer to your quest. You asked us, who are the elementals, and are the forests alive? Elementals are structures that exist within the harmonic fractal fields betwixt the third and fourth dimensions. They are intelligent, individual consciousness structures that exist upon a parallel path to yourselves, sharing your environment but interacting with it differently. One could see them as the higher selves, if you will, of all the flora and fauna and sea life upon your planet, But this would not be entirely accurate, as they are partly third, fourth dimensional, and are not the higher self aspect of that elemental construct. They exist upon a different evolutionary path to yourselves, and there are many similarities between the elementals and that which you call extraterrestrial. Yet many planets have thriving elemental structures upon them that are identical in structure to those that exist upon your Earth, and only in that sense could we refer to them as extraterrestrial. For the elementals upon your planet are most terrestrial, if you will. They are the terrestrial consciousness itself, for they are the individualized consciousness of your planet Earth. Collectively, they make up Terra, or Gaia, the higher dimensional aspect of that which is your planet. Collectively, they are a dimension in themselves. Yet individually, they are structures. They are beings, and they exist within the same polarizations that you do. Service to self negative, service to others positive, and neutral, unpolarized, and non-polarized. Many of you know these beings as fairies, elves, gnomes, leprechauns, pixies, sprites, and goblins. These are forms they take when they appear to you sensitive, empathic, and activated souls who can hear them, see them, and sense them. They present also as orbs, flashes of light, and expanding light spots or dots, and they can be seen with the physical eye within this presentation. Within the elemental kingdom, there are many different forms and species, if you will, hence the reason why you see and sense such differences in form. They are guardians of nature, but in truth, they are individualized consciousness structures of nature. They are nature itself. There are elementals that are the collective intelligent consciousness of the plant kingdom, the fungi kingdom, and the tree dwellers. So too are there the consciousness structures of each body of water and the many elemental structures within your oceans. They are not the animals, as they have life force and consciousness of their own as individualized incarnated beings. But they are very close to the animal kingdom, and they exist alongside the animal kingdom, interacting with them. The animals can sense, feel, and see them as you can, and they communicate with them. If animals are functioning at a low emotional level, living within what you know as depression, sadness, despair, and hopelessness, then this cuts off their ability to interact with the elementals, which is essential to their well-being. This connects in with your first quest, and as compassion spreads throughout your ascending Earth community, creating Gaia, the fifth dimension, then the animals will raise in emotional frequency, adding to the overall critical mass needed to create the fifth dimensional Gaia. They shall then reconnect with the elementals, and all this is occurring now upon your planet as you are in a state of ascension and nearing completion as a society. There are elementals that live above the terrestrial, but are still part of your ecosystem and atmosphere. These are the elementals that are the consciousness of that which you know as wind, rain, sun, thunder, fog, cloud, rainbow, and all other weather presentations. All is a collective intelligence, individualized in various ways. The weather elementals are much bigger, if you will, but simply they are pure awareness matrices rather than individual body structures such as fairies, elves, and pixies. The unicorn is the highest non-physical consciousness structure upon your planet's harmonic dimensional realms and kingdoms. The unicorn is the manifestation of purity, and exists as fully fifth dimensional. The highest physical elemental being upon your planet is the dolphin, closely followed by the whale, which are beings that incarnate in a third dimensional body but hold a sixth dimensional structure. Because of their multidimensionality, they are also elemental. They are bridges, if you will, as they exist within the elemental kingdoms, betwixt the third and fourth dimensions, and within the fifth and sixth dimensions, and also within the third dimension alongside you. Yet even so too are the elementals more than this, for they encompass an infinite structure of infinite infinities, as do you. They are you, as they are the individualized constructs that are your very emotions and thoughts. We have here what you may know as the will-o'-the-wisp, or the whispering ones. These are the emotional thought structures that have little mass, not enough to dissipate instantaneously, but enough to remain as a structure, somewhat fluid and not necessarily cohesive, but a structure nonetheless. And this will-o'-the-wisp does take its time to dissipate into the ether of oneness, the sea, the cosmic soup of once again pre-matter as a memory, adding to the field of memories, for all is useful within the growth of the one soul, prime creator, original source. Then there are those who are birthed from pre-matter memory fields, from your individualized and collective emotional thought structure, creating a cohesive consciousness construct holding mass. These are the pure awareness matrices that exist within the third and fourth harmonics of Earth, that are simply the sacred geometric structure in density, a step down from the sixth dimension, and so too the sound structures of the seventh dimension. There are those that can sense these structures as non-form, as pure idea, pure consciousness, pure externalized memory construct of all that is you and your memory makeup. There are those that can communicate with these beings and structures and know them as spirit. These too are elemental forms that exist alongside the memory constructs of those who were once incarnated in human form. Within this field of pure idea, pure thought, and pure memory, we have the field of created construct, the cartoon world of character holding mass, and thus non-form within a form. Your Father Christmas, your Mickey Mouse, your computer game characters such as Crash Bandicoot, Sonic the Hedgehog, and many, many others. These are all elemental constructs, yet perhaps you would know these better as thought form or tulpa. The elemental kingdom stretches far and wide and is made up as the shadow expression or radiation of thought of all things. Yet from their individualized perspective, they are life, they are construct, and they have a blueprinted path as you do, even whilst it may be more fluid. Perhaps the greatest elemental beings are those which you call ascended masters, although all elemental beings are great in that sense, and the ascended masters, these structures are fully fifth dimensional, as is the unicorn. Some of these ascended masters have counterparts within the third and fourth harmonic, and are the knights and guardians, and indeed kings and queens, within both the negatively polarized and the positively polarized elemental kingdoms. You have here your great created characters holding mass, and your weather, nature, North Pole, South Pole constructs, such as Merlin the Magician, King Winter, the Snow Queen, and your beloved Cinderella, Snow White, and all the Disney princesses that are given cohesive life through the children upon your planet. As we say, these are both negatively and positively polarized, and are utilized as such by those who practice both dark and light magic. You ask, are the forests alive? And indeed, we have answered this quest within our transmission. Also, your next question, are emotions tangible? So too have we responded to this. Your forests are teeming with life. Your planetary geometries and matrix are teeming with tangible emotion. We could say so much more about this as it relates to all that is you and your ascension journey. Ultimately, this is about original source, prime creator, or the unified field of all there is, separating itself into infinite infinities that are constructs, fragments, particles, aspects, and pieces, all holographically and fractally presented, making their way back towards wholeness and cohesive individualization, so they may stand as original source, or stand at the right hand of the Father, if you will. This is your journey, for all is you, and you are all there is. We are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. In this channeled transmission, I enter into an expansive, transformative and activating exploration of interdimensional dialogue, discussing the mechanics of Stargate Ascension. This cutting-edge information holds key codes, maps and coordinates for the starseeds on Earth, as they go through this process of DNA reconstruction and regrouping of cosmic memory themselves. The significant codex of information is downloaded to the reader, as they, through this sacred text, are called by the Dragon, Excalibur, Crystalline Light Geometry, Atlantis, and the Emerald Flame. I am so very pleased to present my new book, The Infinite Helix and the Emerald Flame,